morning, Twin Cities. Good morning to you. You got here right on time. How to do you on this cloudy day. It's not the most handsome day in the metro that we've ever had in our lives, but still, it is Hump Day Wednesday. Good morning, Chantel Sings.
Good morning, Freddie Bell. How goes it for you?
Unbelievable. What's the color of the day?
Color of the day today is Cocoa Brown, so try Cocoa Brown today. Also, shout out to Bloomington. Thank you guys in Bloomington for waking up with the morning show. We appreciate you.
All right, we're glad you're with us this morning. And here are today's words to the wise. An intelligent person is one who knows when to keep their mouth shut. An intelligent person is one who knows when to keep their mouth shut.
Don't do it. He's trying to look at me. I know I talk all the time, but this time I'm not saying anything. You won't get me today.
I heard you not saying anything.
Oh, whatever.
And today is National Butterscotch Pudding Day. The primary ingredients in making butterscotch are brown sugar, that'll rot your teeth, butter, that'll help. However, corn syrup, vanilla, and salt are also sometimes used, and they put it on as sauces, candies, and frostings. It's a wonderful day to eat a whole thing of butterscotch pudding.
Does not sound appealing at all to me.
There are some folks who are just salivating at that. Please welcome to our morning show microphones some folks who are doing some great things. In fact, they've changed the fabric of our listening habits of music in America and even around the world, and collaborating, and I don't know if this is the first time, we'll find out as we get a little bit closer, as a part of Children Theatres Company's premiere of Last Stop on Market Street. Please welcome to our studios, first of all, Lamont Dozier, live in our studios. Good morning.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
Oops, I'm sorry.
There we go, there we go.
Yeah,
Good morning.
Good to be here.
Good, and that's Lamont Dozier of Dozier Holland. Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have both of you here this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
It's our pleasure. I'm just curious, how did the both of you come together to write the lyrics that are being used in Last Stop on Market Street? Let's go with Dad first, if that's okay. Lamont, Mr. Dozier?
Well, this is our second venture Paris and I have done. The first one was Chicken's Funny Money about 5 years ago.
I like that title.
Fun to do that. We got a lot of great reviews and people loved it, and the Children's Theatre Company asked us to come in to do this one, and so we agreed, and so far it's been fabulous. My child.
I just got sunned. My dad just sunned me right now. He's talking about the actual child in the play this time.
Okay, gotcha.
CJ this time. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just for the distinction there, Dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Aww.
So talk about is this production, Paris, more fun than the original collaboration with you and your dad?
Oh, then the first show? I mean, it's different. You know, it's always a good time. I think that, you know, doing projects like these are really kind of going to be relics of our relationship. You know what I mean? So it's always just a great opportunity for us to collaborate because it's timeless as far as, you know, our bond is concerned, and then also kind of tying that into a substantive message. You know, it's also nice to be able to do some good through music. So
Right.
yeah, it's exciting.
Wow.
What's the mix of, I'm assuming you kind of bring a more new school flavor and your dad brings the old school flavor. How does that work? How do you combine the two?
Well, I mean, it's not too much of a distinction. You see, despite my, very youthful looks and being called a child, I'm actually 34 years old. Right?
That was me.
So I came up doing hip hop in the 90s, which is very sample driven and very much derivative of soul and funk. And my dad had records lying all around the house, and it's all about the samples, especially more so back in the day. So I consider myself to be a soul and funk and a classical producer and writer in that sense, but also an ambassador to hip hop culture. So it's a tremendous opportunity to have this opportunity to have the platform to kind of meld those two worlds and have it act as a gateway where you can see like, oh, the kids are hearing the music that they were probably driving, they were in the car driving to the theater, they were listening to some Drake or some Kendrick, and then they come in the theater like, oh, this sounds kind of, I hear that bounce here too.
Yeah.
And then we're also tying it into gospel and funk and soul, so it's nice to be able to, for them to be able to see where hip hop is derivative from.
For sure.
So how do you bring in with your training with Stephen Stalnheim, those types of composers and so forth? How does that come forth in your production?
It's very much steeped in character development and driving a story. And I think it's like such a tremendous opportunity, and a shout out to CTC, Children's Theater Company, for providing a platform where we could actually show that hip hop can be intelligible, it can be endearing, and it could also be very pertinent to character development and storytelling. Because we need the culture to be represented in musical theater a lot more. And this is the beginning of what I think is going to be a renaissance coming forward. Shout out to Hamilton for that. We're kind of doing our own take on that for 5-year-olds and up.
Nice.
All right, everybody, we're talking with the family, I should say, of the Dozier family, the songwriting team. They're here. They put the words to the stage production from Cheryl West, who's and they put this all together. I'm just curious, is this, Lamont, is this a big departure for you? Is this a stretch to do something like this with your son for a stage production like this?
No, musical theater has been a love of mine for umpteen years. And when I got the opportunity to get into the business of writing and with Motown and that thing, Barry Gordy sort of like talked me into being one of the writers and producers there at the company and the artist. But my first love was musical theater. And when the opportunity came up for me to get back in it, or be in it, I jumped to it. So this is like I said, my first love, musical theater. And I'm just having a ball, and with a lot of other ideas that's on its way. This will be a part of an ongoing thing, for me, and showing what messages or what things themes I can apply and tell stories that are meaningful or poignant to the way children are brought up and how the world should react to various things.
For sure.
And going and caring for our kids.
So tell us, Paris, about this production, Last Stop on Market Street. What can people expect to come out? What's it all about? Give us a little piece of what they can expect.
Well, they could definitely expect to be tapping their feet and bobbing their head. That's for sure. Because we're definitely coming with it. You're going to hear a combination of live and digital elements. So we're revolutionizing the business like that. There's a whole lot of that going on. We have a 7-year-old protagonist named CJ, and he comes from the belly of comfort. He grew up in luxury. He goes to see his nana in a less fortunate neighborhood, and it's very harrowing for him. And he comes to some realizations, and he kind of learns about the virtues of giving and charity, and also just being grateful for what he has. And also, it's we get to see the generational friction. She's very much old school gospel singing, and he's coming in with that kind of trap bounce to what he's doing. So
Trap
they
music.
they have a little bit of a rap battle. They're doing a few things, and so it's great. It speaks to diversity, but it also speaks to unifying generational gaps, which I think is great because you're going to see a lot of parents and grandparents taking their children and grandchildren to this show. So it's something for everybody, and I think that's beautiful.
Nice.
So what's the driver? Is it the lyrics written by Cheryl, or is the music written by your team?
Oh yeah, well we did the lyrics and the music.
All right, so
So she wrote the book, like the actual script. And
Exactly.
And then we wrote the lyrics and music around that. So and it's definitely in a strong alignment to what Cheryl was doing because she so brilliantly, wrote the book, and then we kind of fed off of that to kind of make sure that what we wrote was cohesive with her story.
So what's the biggest production number in the whole play? Can you give that away?
I mean, they're all dope. I don't want to get all Kanye on you right now, but they're all
It's too late, man. It's too late.
They're all legit. I mean, I'm just saying people need to see this because I mean, you know, you just need to come down to Children's Theater Company, get a glimpse of the future of musical theater.
For sure.
I mean, because this is just the beginning of the kind of sound that you're going to hear permeating throughout musical theater. This is going to be more common, and you know, it's overdue, and now it's here. This is just the beginning.
Good stuff. I love it.
So Lamont Dozier, I want to take you back a little bit. What was it like working with all those A personalities in the 50s, 60s, 70s, with the personalities of Diana Ross in particular? What was that like, and was it difficult for you as a writer to harness that style and to get them to be convinced that I really do have a good song for you?
Well, you know, the work itself was ongoing. I mean, meaning that you have to have a great work ethic, first of all, and hopefully have some talent and some artists to, and some artists, which we did have,
Uh-huh.
can project and perform the songs correctly.
Right.
Some of my favorite was the Four Tops, Levi Stubbs. Diana Ross was very good too with the Supremes as lead singer. And but working with Martha and the Vandellas, oh man, and
Dancing in the Street.
yeah, Marvin Gaye, and you know, these people were fantastic artists. I mean, they had a lot of talent, and it made our job easier to write for them because they were so good and they caught on real fast, you know.
Right.
Marvin Gaye was like a one-take artist, you know, like how sweet it is. When I wrote that for him, I mean, he was just in and out of there with no problem. I mean, because his style, he was a stylist, as well as having a great talent, you know. But yeah, there were so many people. Levi Stubbs was very dramatic in his projections, about the song "Reach Out, I'll Be There," and "I Need Your Love," and you know, and on and on and on. And I mean, we were very fortunate and blessed to have so many top 10 and number one songs. I think 54 number ones, 10 out of 75 top 10. That's a record, I guess, for anybody.
It's incredible.
To be proud of. We were together in Holland for 10 years, from 62 to 72. And we plowed up quite a record and broke a lot of history, getting made a lot of history. And I love my time at Motown. I've done a lot of other things now, and I was with other companies, working with other people in Great Britain and several places around the world. Various artists collaborating with and whatnot. But all the time, feeling blessed about it all because, you know, there's a lot of work involved. But I'm still going strong. I'm doing this thing now. The musical theater is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And doing it with me is my great talented son. It's something else. You know, it's like a blessing in so many words.
Well, speaking of your son, I know I've been told I work with a singer each day. I have that opportunity to work with Chantel. And I'm just curious, with all the different songs that you've written that made it big, some that didn't quite get there, do you have a favorite, I'm going to call your music your child. Do you have a favorite child that you've written that no matter what you've written is your favorite no matter what? Can you single that one out?
Oh, wow. It was probably a couple things. Reach Out, I'll Be There, and I hear Symphony by the Springs, and Bernadette by the Four Tops. You know, these things were very near and dear to my heart, I might say, because they were actually things, words and stories that I actually lived, you know, or we lived in a lot of respects, you know.
Bernadette was real?
Bernadette was real. She was my first muse.
Yo, wait. My mom's listening to this. Fall back on that. Take it easy. Shout out to my mom. I know
Right.
she's listening.
Oh, man, I
She's
think
number
she just
one.
calling. I think she's calling now. She on the line.
Bernadette, when I was a kid,
Funny.
so she's a little girl that I had eyes for, and I thought she was Venus of Milo with arms,
Oh my.
Wow.
So she inspired me to write, because I used to write poems when I was a kid, but she inspired a lot. The top of the Holland Brothers and I had a rule that was not going to write about girls, any specific girls. So we didn't, in our restaurant, there were no girls. Bernadette was the only girl.
Oh, wow.
Three of us, at one time or another, had girlfriends named Bernadette.
Oh my.
Yeah, see, that's before Drake did Kiki. See? Hey, Dad, I like that one, Dad. You said I'm gonna use that one. Yeah. Girl, you're like Venus without arms, with arms.
With arms.
I like that
So
one.
funny.
Wow. So as a final thought, Paris, what's the future of music? There was a time when they were saying certain genres of music were just fading away. In your opinion, from what you're doing with stage, what you're doing with a synthesized sound, a digital sound, what is the future of music?
I mean, the future of music, that's a volatile prediction. I would say that I think that you're gonna see a lot of a contemporization of musical theater. You're gonna start seeing, what they would classify as urban. That's the name they want to give to it in musical theater. And but yeah, you're gonna see contemporary R&B and hip hop culture translated onto the musical theater stage, and that's just gonna be very exciting. That means that there's gonna be a whole wave, an influx of young composers such as myself, and then also paying homage. This show is an homage project. You know what I mean? Because you're hearing the gospel, the R&B, the funk elements, and then you're hearing the show being driven by the contemporary hip hop sound as well, but we're not forgetting where we come from with that, and it's important for people to realize what it's derivative of. You know what I mean? That's what you hear J. Cole doing, what you hear Kendrick doing, what you hear Childish Gambino doing.
Right.
They're paying homage to the ones who started it all.
Absolutely.
And I'm always gonna big up my father like that. So.
All right. Well, we're about out of time. Final thought?
I
Chantel?
have my final question would be, is there any artists from either of you, or from your perspectives, that you love today that even come close to any artist from back at that time?
All those ones I named off, but I'm loving the artists out here in Minneapolis as well. There's an incredible talent pool that we've actually got to work with out here. That, they weren't lying. There's something in the water.
Right.
I'm just coming out here and trying to bottle it.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about you?
In every play, I think in the future that we're involved in would be serving of love. But the main ingredient here is serving of love in this particular children's theater companies. The play will serve up a lot of love and a lot of ideas and perspectives as far as raising our children and a more contemporary way as well as old school, as Paris said. But serving of love is the main thing here, and that's what we continue to do.
All right.
I love it.
Children's Theater Company producing Last Stop on Market Street, and you heard the songwriters along with Miss Cheryl West, Paris Ray Dozier, Lamont Dozier. I can't thank you gentlemen enough for being with us this morning
Absolute pleasure.
Thank
and
you.
sharing your incredible talent with the world. 32 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. I got chills through this whole thing talking
did too.
with
I
these
did.
legends of music.
Absolutely. And so I plan to I want to go to this show on Sunday. So that's what I plan to do. I have to see this show now. So I will be there Sunday for sure.
I'm there every night just
Every
to check
night.
it out.
Just
September
pick a
15th
night.
through October 21st at the Children's Theater Company. If you'd like more details, just call just give us a call. We'll hook you up. childrenstheater.org. We'll be right back.